We are on coronavirus lockdown where the bars and restaurants are closed, so there's really nothing else to do now except go out birding. And we are in Port Washington seeing if we can find some of the rare birds that were reported here, and we're going to bring you with us just in case you don't want to go outside and do it for yourself.
In the midst of the unprecedented coronavirus pandemic, most businesses deemed non-essential have shut down. This means outdoor activities such as birding are one of the few things people can do to entertain themselves while maintaining a safe distance away from others. Just one day before the state was to go into lockdown mode for the foreseeable future, we decided to head to Port Washington on the Lake Michigan coastline in search of some rare birds that had been reported. The two at the top of our list were red-throated loons and a western grebe. With strong winds coming from the lake and heavy waves to match, conditions were less than ideal.
Talk to me about what the weather's like.
Not great, right? It's really windy. I saw waves crashing into the head.
In spite of the rough waters, a lot of birds were out on the lake. It didn't take us long to find one that was on our wish list.
The red-throated loon is an annual visitor to the Great Lakes during their migration from the Atlantic and Pacific coasts back to their breeding sites in the tundra. Unlike other loons, red-throated loons can take off without flapping their wings on water, which is useful if they need to make a quick takeoff from land. In their summer plumage, they develop a namesake red patch on the underside of their neck. During winter, they are more drab with a light underside and a slate gray head, neck, and back with white speckling. While red-throated loons show up yearly in Wisconsin, they are always a treat to see. Kids these days, always on their phone.
I was asking for info on where the grebe is because we don't see it yet. We found two loons, but we'll keep looking. The waves might have moved it somewhere. Let's go check out by the power plant so we can find the falcons.
Yeah, let's do it.
There's one, I think, up in the sky.
That was fast. It's struggling. Oh, is that both of them?
Yeah. Well,
A nesting pair of falcons are regular sights in Port Washington. With spring coming, they braved the wind and were extremely active while we were there. We moved south toward the power plant that their nest box is on to get a closer look at these fascinating birds.
So the peregrine's just kind of hunkered down on top of the power plant while trying to be sheltered from the wind. He's doing a pretty good job. It's a mating pair they have. Peregrine falcons are one of the fastest creatures in the animal kingdom, reaching speeds close to 70 miles per hour when diving for prey. This species was almost eradicated from the eastern United States in the 20th century, primarily due to pesticide poisoning. Fortunately, due to extensive recovery efforts such as placing nest boxes and monitoring breeding pairs, this acrobatic flyer has made a full recovery.
After viewing the falcons, we walked around the trail at Coal Dock Park. A small pond in the center of the park held mallards and a ringneck duck. We also noticed bald eagles flying over and a bufflehead in the canal leading from the power plant.
What are you looking at, right?
bufflehead.
Female, right?
Female bufflehead. It's in the warm water that the power plant pumps out.
That's where I would be.
That's where I would be too. It's like a balmy 17 degrees out. I would say 30 degrees and lower than that with the extreme wind chill.
While the water continued to crash into the rocks around us, we made our way back to the main harbor, where we spotted something way out on the other side.
I have the grebe. Come here. Look at my camera.
So we just saw the grebe and we're headed to the other side. And hopefully we'll be able to get some really close looks at it. We've seen western grebes before, but I don't think we've ever been super close, so.
I have.
Okay, whatever. I'm excited for the opportunity to see it up close.
On the other side of the marina, we found an American coot, a horned grebe, and a flock of ring-billed gulls. We also had a better angle of the western grebe as it tried to stay in the slightly calmer water behind the breakwall.
The aptly named western grebe is typically found from the coast of California to the western parts of Minnesota and Iowa, and all the way down to Central America. A few individuals seem to find their way into Wisconsin each year. While migrating, they turn up in many different habitats, including inland bodies of water, as well as the Great Lakes. When nesting, this species prefers large freshwater lakes and marshes, usually lined with reeds. The diet of the western grebe consists mostly of fish, but they also eat insects, crustaceans, and other small aquatic creatures.
On our way back, we met Andy, another birder enjoying the day out.
Yeah, it's just nice to get out and, I don't know, see different birds, especially when you're not allowed to really go out and do anything. It's been kind of nice. Saw the western grebe, right? So that's pretty neat. And I've been traveling around with my kids trying to see some stuff while we're, I don't know, trying to social distance.
On a day when the weather wasn't cooperating, and in a year marked by the fight against a global virus, the wildlife endures. In fact, nature doesn't seem to notice a difference as the birds continue with their migration even though our world is on hold. Even when times are trying, it's nice to know that we can still escape into nature and watch the birds. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Badgerland Birding. There's no way I'm going to be able to hear what you're saying with all this wind. You're going to have to shout.
Look at that loon out there! Oh my gosh!
There it is.
Wow!
Do you like the two different gloves look?
Kinda. It's
Yeah.
sort of like Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah, it's like the Loch Ness Monster.
It sure does.
We are on coronavirus lockdown.
You can't get it by watching the video though. So that's good.